What if the ancient depictions of ostriches etched onto crumbling temple walls and woven into forgotten tapestries weren't just artistic flourishes, but encoded messages hinting at a lost civilization's secrets? Tonight, we won't chase that secret. Instead, we will find our peace in the slow, deliberate craft of the artisans who painstakingly rendered these magnificent birds, observing the subtle strokes of charcoal, the careful application of pigment, the quiet hours spent bringing these ancient ostriches to life. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. Now dim the lights. Imagine the flickering lamplight, the scent of incense hanging heavy in the air, as a skilled hand meticulously blends ochre and charcoal, painstakingly recreating the powerful form of an ostrich, a creature both familiar and awe-inspiring to the ancient world. The soft scratch of the brush against the papyrus, the rhythmic tapping of a chisel against stone, these are the sounds that accompany us as we journey back in time to explore the world of ostriches in ancient civilizations through the eyes of those who depicted them. Let's listen to the story they whispered to us across the millennia, here on Snooze Stories. These are the sounds that accompany us as we journey back in time to explore the world of ostriches in ancient civilizations through the eyes of those who depicted them. Let's listen to the story they whisper to us across the millennia. Picture, if you will, the vast expanse of the ancient world. Imagine the sun beating down on the ochre sands of the Sahara, the wind whispering through the tall grasses of the African savanna, the cool shade offered by the acacia trees. These are the habitats of the ostrich, a creature whose size and power have captivated human imagination for millennia. From the sun-baked plains of the Near East to the fertile valleys of the Nile, from the sun-drenched shores of the Mediterranean to the rolling hills of ancient Greece, the ostrich's presence, though perhaps not always directly, woven itself into the tapestry of human history. Let us begin our journey in the ancient Near East, a land of towering ziggurats and bustling marketplaces, a cradle of civilization where the earliest known depictions of ostriches begin to appear. Imagine the artisans of Mesopotamia, their fingers stained with the rich hues of earth pigments, painstakingly recreating the elegant sweep of the ostrich's neck, the powerful thrust of its wings. These images, often found etched onto cylinder seals or decorating the walls of palaces, are not mere artistic flourishes. They offer a glimpse into the relationship between humans and these magnificent birds. Think of the weight of the clay in their hands, the coolness of the stone under their chisels, the slow, deliberate strokes that bring these ancient creatures to life, the faint scent of cedarwood oil perhaps lingering in the air, a familiar aroma in a workshop dedicated to the art of storytelling. We move eastward, towards the land of the pharaohs, the ancient kingdom of Egypt. Here, ostriches hold a different kind of significance. Imagine the Nile, its waters flowing smoothly under the intense desert heat. Along its banks, the life-giving river flows beside a kingdom that held the ostrich in high regard. Their plumes, exquisitely fashioned into ornaments and adornments for the elite, become symbols of power and prestige. The weight of a single feather, the way it catches the sunlight, the delicate curve of the shaft, all speak of luxury and privilege. Picture the intricate designs, the delicate weaving of these plumes into ceremonial headdresses, or the embellishments of royal chariots, and feel the smooth coolness of the ostrich feather against your skin. These are not merely decorations, they are visual statements of royal authority, testaments to the power and wealth of the pharaohs. From the Nile, our journey takes us westward, to the shores of the Mediterranean and the burgeoning civilizations of Greece and Rome. Imagine the bustling port cities, the scent of salt air and spices mingling with the aroma of exotic goods from distant lands. Ostriches, though not native to these regions, became symbols of the far-off, exotic lands from which they hailed. Picture the Roman amphitheater, a cacophony of sound, a thrilling display of human ingenuity and brutality. In the arena's heart, the graceful movements of ostriches might be captured on the large, vibrant frescoes. Feel the rumble of the crowd, the vibration in your chest as the spectacle unfolds. The image of a swift, powerful ostrich juxtaposed against the brute force of gladiatorial combat becomes a visual representation of contrast, exoticism, and the power of the Roman Empire to bring distant wonders to its people. The image of an ostrich, rendered in various styles across different civilizations, becomes a testament to the enduring fascination that this unique creature inspired. The weight of history, the layers of time and cultural interaction become clearer with each image you contemplate. Consider the weight of the stone carvings, the texture of the papyrus, the smooth coolness of the painted pottery. Let the slow, methodical strokes of the ancient artisans soothe you, as the slow rhythm of a narrative guides you towards peaceful slumber. We are surrounded by the echoes of ancient voices, the whispers of history, inviting us to drift away into the quiet depths of sleep. Now, let us journey further back in time, leaving the vibrant hues of the Roman arena behind and venturing into the heart of ancient Mesopotamia. Imagine the sun beating down on the Fertile Crescent, the air thick with the scent of dust and date palms. Here, amongst the ziggurats and bustling city-states, the earliest whispers of the ostrich reach us. Faint echoes carried across millennia. Unlike the dramatic displays in Roman amphitheaters, the Mesopotamian encounters with these magnificent birds are more subtle, more integrated into the fabric of daily life. We find them not in the thrill of spectacle, but in the quiet details of everyday existence, etched onto clay tablets, delicately depicted on cylinder seals. Picture a small, perfectly formed cylinder seal, no larger than your thumb. Its surface, worn smooth by the passage of centuries, reveals a scene of remarkable detail. Feel the coolness of the clay as your fingertips trace the faint relief. A majestic ostrich, its plumage rendered with surprisingly delicate strokes, stands proudly amongst stylized reeds and other animals. The artist, working with painstaking precision, captures the bird's elegant form, its long neck gracefully arched, its powerful legs poised for a swift stride. The texture of the clay, rough yet smooth, the subtle variations in the depth of the carving, all contribute to a sense of timeless serenity. This isn't a dramatic portrayal, it's an observation, a quiet acknowledgement of the ostrich's presence in the Mesopotamian landscape. These early depictions are often integrated into larger scenes, providing glimpses into the world of ancient Mesopotamia. One might find an ostrich alongside other animals, perhaps a lion or a bull, symbolic of power and fertility. Sometimes the ostrich appears in hunting scenes, a testament to its value as a source of food and feathers. The tools used to create these images, simple yet effective, speak to a connection to the earth. A connection that is also reflected in the subject matter. Imagine the artist, perhaps seated under a canvas awning, diligently crafting these images, their touch gentle and deliberate. The sun's warmth, the scent of the earth, the feel of the clay, all these elements combine to create a sense of peace, a calmness that permeates the ancient image. Yet the cuneiform tablets, the precursors to writing, offer further insights. These fragile clay tablets, etched with wedge-shaped characters, hold the secrets of a forgotten language, a language that whispers of ostriches. Imagine carefully holding one of these precious tablets, feeling its weight in your hand, its surface cool to the touch. Trace the cuneiform symbols with your fingertips, their angular forms a stark contrast to the fluid curves of the ostrich. Within these intricate markings, scholars have unearthed mentions of ostrich feathers, used perhaps for adornment or ritual purposes. The words themselves, lost to most of us, but preserved through careful excavation and patient translation, carry the weight of centuries. The significance of the ostrich in Mesopotamia is not yet fully understood. Its appearance in art and literature suggests it held a certain cultural importance, whether as a source of valuable resources or as a symbol of power, or perhaps even of a spiritual significance. As we piece together the fragmented evidence, we begin to see the ostrich not as an isolated element, but as part of a larger tapestry, a woven thread within the rich, complex fabric of Mesopotamian life. The slow, methodical process of deciphering these ancient texts, of painstakingly cleaning and analyzing the artifacts, is itself a soothing ritual. The weight of history, the layers of time and culture, all contribute to a sense of profound tranquility. Imagine the quiet hum of the museum, the soft glow of the lights illuminating these ancient objects. Breathe deeply, allowing the scent of old parchment and dust to settle in your lungs. Let the rhythm of the narrative lull you into a state of relaxation. Let the image of the ancient Mesopotamian ostrich, a creature of power and grace, guide you towards peaceful slumber. The stillness of the Mesopotamian desert, the quiet dignity of the ostrich depicted in clay and cuneiform, the gentle touch of the ancient artisan, all these contribute to a sense of quietude, a stillness that invites you to relax and let go. Feel the weight of the centuries gently easing away, dissolving into the soft darkness of sleep. The whispers of the past fade, replaced by the rhythmic beat of your own heart, a gentle pulse leading you toward the restorative embrace of slumber. Let the echoes of ancient Mesopotamia fade into the quiet depths of your dreams. Now let us journey further, leaving the sands of Mesopotamia behind and traveling westward towards the fertile lands of the Nile. The sun, a molten gold disk sinking below the horizon, casts long shadows across the ancient Egyptian landscape. Imagine, if you will, the scent of papyrus and incense mingling with the earthy aroma of the desert. We are tracing the footsteps of the ostrich, its long legs having carried it across millennia and continents. In ancient Egypt, the ostrich held a position of unique symbolic importance, far removed from its practical uses. Here, the ostrich feathers, those delicate, almost ethereal plumes, were not merely functional adornments. They were imbued with a profound spiritual significance. Picture, if you can, the delicate dance of sunlight upon these feathers, their soft texture, their subtle variations of color from deepest black to the palest cream. These were not merely feathers, they were emblems of royalty, of divinity, of the very breath of life itself. The most luxurious of these plumes were reserved for the pharaohs and high priests, adorning their headdresses and ceremonial garments. They signified lightness, speed, truth, and even the power to escape the cycle of life and death, a journey as light as the feather itself. Imagine the patient craftsmanship involved in weaving these feathers into intricate designs, the quiet concentration of the artisan's hands. Feel the coolness of the ivory or the warmth of the gold against your skin as you carefully examine a delicately crafted amulet depicting an ostrich. Observe the subtle curvature of the bird's neck, the elegant sweep of its tail feathers, meticulously rendered in detail. Note the careful balance between form and meaning, how the artist managed to convey both the physical grace of the bird and its profound spiritual significance. The intricate detail of these artifacts, some made of gold or inlaid with precious stones, speaks of an immense respect, a reverential understanding of the creature's position within the ancient Egyptian worldview. Let us delve into the dimly lit chambers of ancient tombs. Picture the cool, dry air against your skin as you slowly traverse the passageways, your footsteps echoing softly in the silence. On the walls, delicately painted scenes unfold before your eyes, portraying the daily life and the religious beliefs of the ancient Egyptians. Among the hunting scenes, the agricultural labors, and the funerary rituals, you notice the recurrent presence of the ostrich. Sometimes they are depicted in lifelike detail, their powerful legs striding across the desert landscape. In other instances, they appear in more stylized forms, their elegant silhouettes incorporated into decorative patterns and border designs. In these tomb paintings, the ostriches often appear as part of a wider context, contributing to the overall narrative of life and death, of the journey to the afterlife. Consider the deliberate strokes of the ancient painter, the careful application of pigments, the careful composition of the scene. Imagine the slow, methodical process of creation, a process as calming and relaxing as the desert night. The ostrich in these paintings is not merely a decorative element. It is an active participant in the story, a silent observer of the human drama unfolding around it. Consider the symbolism embedded within these depictions. The ostrich, with its ability to run swiftly and cover vast distances, became associated with the speed and swiftness of the desert winds, with the very breath of life itself. The plumage again represented lightness, purity, and spiritual elevation. The powerful legs carried a suggestion of strength and endurance. The ostrich, therefore, was much more than just a desert bird. It was a symbol of power, of swiftness, of spiritual transcendence, a fitting companion for the pharaohs and the gods in their journey towards the afterlife. Let the images of these ancient artifacts and paintings slowly fade into the background of your consciousness, their details dissolving into the soft darkness of the night. Allow the quiet dignity of the ancient Egyptian ostrich to soothe your mind, its image a gentle guide towards peaceful slumber. Breathe deeply and allow the rhythmic ebb and flow of your own breath to lull you into a state of deep relaxation. Feel the weight of the centuries gently easing away, dissolving into the soft darkness of sleep. The whispers of ancient Egypt fade, replaced by the rhythmic beat of your own heart, a gentle pulse leading you toward the restorative embrace of slumber. Let the echoes of the past fade into the quiet depths of your dreams. And now, from the hushed reverence of the pharaoh's tomb, let us turn our attention to the bustling marketplaces and workshops of ancient Egypt, where the magnificent plumage of the ostrich found a different kind of immortality. Imagine, if you will, the sun beating down upon the dusty streets of Thebes, the air thick with the scent of incense and river mud. Caravans laden with the treasures of distant lands arrive, their camels kneeling wearily under the weight of their burdens. Among these precious goods, nestled carefully within woven baskets and leather sacks, are the prized feathers of the ostrich. These feathers, shed naturally or carefully plucked from captured birds, were a highly sought-after commodity. The process of acquiring them would have been both arduous and fascinating. Picture, if you can, the slow, methodical pursuit of these magnificent birds across the vast sun-baked plains. Imagine the patient tracking, the careful approach, the quiet skill of the hunters, their movements as measured and deliberate as the setting sun. They might have used nets, perhaps cleverly crafted traps, or even relied upon the assistance of trained falcons to help them corner their quarry. The capture itself would have been a delicate operation, demanding respect for the bird's strength and power, a balance between skillful capture and minimal harm. Once captured, the feathers were carefully plucked, each one handled with the utmost care. Their softness, their lightness, their iridescent sheen, these qualities would have been immediately apparent, inspiring awe and wonder in the hearts of the workers. The very act of harvesting would have been imbued with a sense of ritual, a recognition of the bird's sacred significance. Think of the soft rustle of the feathers as they were gently separated from the skin, the gentle weight in the hands of the artisans, the subtle variations in color and texture. Each feather held the potential for exquisite beauty, a promise of elegance and grace. The processing of these feathers was a meticulous art. They would have been cleaned, sorted, and then often dyed, using natural pigments derived from plants and minerals. Imagine the vibrant hues, deep crimson, rich ochre, luminous blues, each color carefully chosen to enhance the feather's natural beauty and symbolism. The colors themselves might have held a deeper meaning, imbued with the spiritual significance of the era. Reds for life, blues for the sky and the divine, ochre for the earth and rebirth. This meticulous care, this attention to detail, speaks volumes about the value placed upon these seemingly simple plumes. The finished feathers were then ready to be used in a breathtaking array of applications. They adorned the headdresses of pharaohs, adding a regal flourish to their already imposing presence. Picture the rhythmic swaying of these plumes as the pharaoh, resplendent in his finery, processed through the streets, the feathers catching the sunlight, shimmering and dazzling. They formed intricate decorations on ceremonial chariots, their movement mirroring the graceful strides of the ostrich itself. They graced the wings of divine statues, transforming inert objects into representations of celestial beings, beings of grace, speed, and spiritual power. Ostrich feathers were also incorporated into everyday life. They were used to decorate furniture, adorn clothing, and were even employed as writing brushes. Imagine the soft strokes of an ostrich feather across papyrus, bringing ancient narratives to life, making history tangible, connecting us across millennia. The feathers were not merely ornamentation, they were vessels of power, symbols of status, and a tangible link to the gods themselves. Think of the long hours spent by the artisans, carefully weaving and arranging the feathers, each placement deliberate, each strand contributing to the overall design. Their hands, skilled and practiced, would have become intimately familiar with the texture and weight of these precious plumes. Let the image of their careful work, their quiet dedication, settle over you. A soothing balm for the mind. The rhythmic repetition of their movements, the soft touch of the feathers, the quiet concentration on their craft all contribute to the hypnotic rhythm of the night. Feel the calmness spreading through your body, the quiet contentment settling deep within. Let the soft whispers of the ancient Egyptian artisans lull you into the quiet embrace of sleep. And as the soft whispers of those ancient artisans fade, let us turn our attention to another marvel from their world, the ostrich egg. Imagine, if you will, the vast expanse of the Egyptian desert, the sun beating down on the sand, the air shimmering with heat, and then nestled amongst the dunes, perhaps partially buried to protect it from the harsh elements, a magnificent ostrich egg, its shell a thick, porous testament to the bird's resilience. Unlike the delicate feathers, the eggshell possesses a different kind of beauty, a sturdy, earthy elegance. Its surface, far from smooth, is subtly textured, marked by the faintest of lines and pits, each a tiny record of the life within. Run your fingers in your mind over its cool, slightly rough surface. Feel the subtle grain beneath your fingertips, a tangible connection to a world long past. The color, a creamy off-white, perhaps tinged with the faintest blush of pale brown, speaks of the sun-baked earth and the endless sky. Consider the sheer size of these eggs, far larger than any hen's egg you might be familiar with. They could hold a significant amount of liquid, perhaps a liter or more, a considerable quantity in a time when vessels were often painstakingly crafted. The ancient Egyptians recognized this inherent utility, using the empty eggshells as practical containers. Picture a craftsman carefully working on an eggshell, diligently cleaning and smoothing the interior, patiently preparing it for its new purpose. The scraping sounds, the faint scent of the shell itself, the slow, deliberate movements, all contributing to the meditative atmosphere of the ancient workshop. These weren't just simple containers, they were vessels of considerable refinement. Imagine them used to store precious oils or perfumes, their contents safeguarded by the natural strength of the shell, the subtle scent of the shell itself adding a touch of earthy elegance to the precious liquid within. Perhaps they held pigments for painting or even cosmetic. Envision the colors, the textures, the artistry involved in decorating the eggshells further, adding intricate designs or painting scenes of daily life, of gods and goddesses, of the sacred animals of ancient Egypt. The process would have been meticulous, the tools simple yet effective, perhaps a sharpened reed, a carefully shaped stone, a fine brush made of animal hair. The artist's hand would have moved slowly, surely, each stroke deliberate, each color carefully chosen. The soft scratching of the tool against the shell, the faint scent of the pigments. Imagine the quiet concentration, the meditative quality of the work, the almost hypnotic rhythm of creation. But the ostrich egg was more than just a functional container. It held a deeper, symbolic significance in ancient Egypt. Its sheer size, its association with the vastness of the desert, its ability to hold such a significant quantity of life within its shell, all these factors likely contributed to its ritualistic role. Consider the egg as a representation of creation itself, a symbol of fertility and rebirth, reflecting the cycle of life and death so central to ancient Egyptian beliefs. Imagine, then, an eggshell, carefully cleaned and prepared, perhaps adorned with symbolic imagery, used as a ritual offering, a vessel to contain sacred items, a tangible link to the spiritual realm. The smoothness of the polished shell, the vibrant colors of the painted designs, the careful placement of the offering all combine to create a potent symbol of reverence and devotion. Feel the stillness of the ancient temple, the quiet reverence of the priests performing their rituals. Imagine the soft light filtering through the windows, illuminating the polished eggshell, its surface reflecting the flickering candlelight like 1,000 tiny stars. Let the quiet solemnity of the scene settle over you, a soothing balm for the mind. The slow, deliberate pace of the ritual, the rhythmic chanting of the priests, the quiet concentration of those participating all contribute to the hypnotic rhythm of the night. The smooth surface of the eggshell, the subtle texture of the painted designs, the cool weight of the offering in the priest's hands. Feel the calmness spreading through your body, the quiet contentment settling deep within. Let the quiet whispers of the ancient Egyptian priests lull you into the peaceful embrace of sleep. Now, drifting from the hushed reverence of the temple, let us consider a more practical aspect of the ostrich's presence in ancient Egypt. Did the Egyptians, renowned for their meticulous organization and agricultural prowess, ever attempt to cultivate these magnificent birds? The evidence, as with so many facets of ancient history, is fragmented, whispered on the winds of time, etched faintly upon the sands of millennia. Yet whispers there are, faint echoes in the archaeological record that suggest a possibility, a tentative engagement with ostrich husbandry. Imagine the sun-drenched landscapes of ancient Egypt, the Nile's fertile crescent stretching into the distance. Picture the vibrant hues of the painted tombs, the hieroglyphs narrating stories of pharaohs and gods, and consider, tucked amongst depictions of cattle, goats, and ducks, the occasional image of an ostrich. These depictions, often found in murals or relief carvings within tombs of the elite, are not merely decorative flourishes. They offer a glimpse into the perceived value, the practical or symbolic significance of ostriches within Egyptian society. But did this significance extend to active farming? The answer, as with so much of the ancient world, is nuanced. We possess no detailed treatises on ostrich farming practices, no meticulously preserved manuals detailing husbandry techniques. There are no surviving papyrus scrolls devoted to the subject, no clay tablets chronicling the daily routines of ostrich keepers. Yet the absence of explicit documentation does not necessarily equate to the absence of the practice itself. Consider the sheer scale of ancient Egypt's agricultural achievements. The meticulous irrigation systems, the sophisticated understanding of crop rotation, the organized management of livestock, all point to a people adept at manipulating their environment for economic gain. And ostriches, with their valuable feathers, powerful legs providing meat, and substantial eggs offering sustenance, surely presented a tempting prospect for cultivation. Think of the weight of an ostrich egg, its smooth, cool shell. Imagine the delicate process of collecting them, the careful handling required to avoid cracking, the careful storage necessary to preserve their contents. Now, visualize the laborious task of collecting the feathers, each a precious commodity, each requiring careful plucking to avoid damaging the bird. Consider the challenges: the wild temperament of the ostrich, its formidable kick, the need for specialized enclosures capable of containing such powerful creatures. These were not trivial undertakings. Archaeological evidence offers only subtle clues. Scattered ostrich eggshell fragments found within the vicinity of ancient settlements might suggest a degree of localized domestication. The consistent presence of ostrich imagery in artistic depictions could similarly indicate a level of familiarity and control exceeding simple hunting. Furthermore, the analysis of ancient bone remains may, with advanced techniques, reveal evidence of selective breeding, a hallmark of domesticated animals. However, a lack of substantial remains of specialized enclosures, unlike those discovered for other livestock, suggests a less intensive approach than outright farming. It is conceivable that the Egyptians practiced a form of semi-domestication, perhaps confining ostriches within loose enclosures, allowing them access to foraging grounds while maintaining some level of control over reproduction and resource harvesting. The practice may have been localized, limited to specific regions with suitable conditions, or perhaps it was a seasonal activity tied to particular times of year, its evidence obscured by the relentless march of time. Let the image of the Nile River, flowing calmly under the Egyptian sun, lull you into tranquility. Picture the slow, deliberate movement of the birds, their powerful legs carrying them across the landscape. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, the gentle breeze stirring your hair. The unanswered questions, the gaps in the historical record, become less important as you sink deeper into relaxation. The mystery itself, the quiet contemplation of a possible ancient practice, becomes a soothing balm, a gentle lullaby. Let the slow pace of the Nile, the soft whisper of the wind, guide you towards the tranquil shores of sleep. The Nile's gentle current carries us westward, away from the familiar sands of Egypt, towards the sun-drenched shores of the Levant. Here, amidst the rolling hills and fertile valleys, a different story unfolds. A narrative woven from the threads of Canaanite, Phoenician, and other ancient cultures. Imagine the scent of olive trees and cypress, the warm earth beneath your feet. The air itself seems to hum with a different energy, a different rhythm. Here, too, the ostrich made its presence felt, its large form a striking contrast to the more familiar fauna of the region. Evidence of ostriches in the Levant is less abundant than in Egypt, scattered like precious stones across the landscape of time. Fragments of pottery, depictions on seals, occasional mentions in texts. These are the breadcrumbs that guide our investigation. Consider the delicate artistry of a Canaanite seal, its surface worn smooth by the passage of centuries, yet still hinting at the powerful image of an ostrich. Perhaps rendered in a stylized, almost abstract way, the deep brown of the clay, the subtle impressions of the design, the very feel of it in your hands. Imagine all of these details, experiencing them with a slow, deliberate appreciation. The Phoenicians, famed for their maritime prowess and extensive trade networks, likely encountered ostriches in their travels across North Africa. Did they trade in ostrich feathers, those prized ornaments of royalty and the wealthy? Did they depict them on their intricately carved ivory and elaborate ship prows, symbols of their far-reaching expeditions, their connection to distant lands and exotic creatures? Let your mind's eye wander across the bright, sun-drenched sea, the rhythmic lapping of waves a soothing counterpoint to the gentle breathing of your body. Unlike the more structured, monumental art of Egypt, the artistic expressions of the Levant often feel more organic, less rigid. Imagine a Canaanite figurine, perhaps a small clay representation of an ostrich, its posture slightly awkward, its features simplified yet full of character. The imperfections, the subtle variations in the clay's texture, the tiny chips and scratches acquired over millennia, these are not flaws, but rather testament to the hand that crafted it, the culture that cherished it. Feel the warmth of the sun, the calm rhythm of your breath. Your mind is settling, drifting gently towards the peace of sleep. We might imagine ostrich feathers adorning the headdresses of Canaanite priests or being used in ceremonial robes. The feathers, soft and buoyant, are like whispers carried on the wind. Their deep colors, ranging from the rich blacks and browns to the striking whites, speak of secrets held within the heart of nature. Let the colors calm you, soothe you, and draw you down into the sleep. The symbolic significance of the ostrich in Levantine culture remains to a large extent a mystery. Did it represent speed, power, or perhaps something more elusive, something tied to the cyclical nature of life and death, the interplay of light and shadow? Perhaps it was seen as a messenger between the earthly and spiritual realms, its swift movements a reflection of the fleeting nature of time itself. Consider the image, the weightless feeling of a feather in your hand. Imagine the colors, the light. The lack of clear evidence should not discourage us, but instead invite us to contemplate the many possibilities, the countless narratives that may lie hidden beneath the surface of the past. Let the silence of the unknown gently cradle you, allowing you to drift away undisturbed into the realm of dreams. Feel the smoothness of the fine feathers, almost weightless, a gentle caress. The vast expanse of time separates us from the ancient Levant, yet these scattered fragments of evidence provide us with a glimpse into a world where humans and ostriches coexisted, their lives intertwined in ways we may never fully understand. The slow process of unearthing these fragments, the patient reconstruction of the past, is itself a soothing ritual, a calming journey into the heart of history. Imagine the feeling of cool night air against your skin, the deep blue of the evening sky over the rolling hills of the Levant. The sounds of nature fade, leaving you with the quiet rhythm of your own breathing. Your body is sinking into your bed. Your limbs feel loose and heavy. Let go of any tension. Allow yourself to relax. The absence of detailed information allows us to fill in the gaps with our imaginations, to conjure up our own personal narratives, our own interpretations. Let this act of creative reconstruction, this gentle filling of the spaces between the facts, act as a pathway towards tranquil slumber. Imagine yourself standing on a sun-drenched hillside, gazing at a lone ostrich against the backdrop of a radiant sunset. The colors are fading, the day is coming to an end, and as the day ends, so too does your wakefulness. The gentle warmth of the sun on your skin fades, and darkness and sleep descends. Breathe deeply and allow the world to fade away, leaving you with only the peace and quiet of slumber. The darkness deepens, mirroring the quiet descent into sleep. As the last vestiges of sunlight disappear, imagine now, if you will, the shores of ancient Greece. The air, still warm from the day's sun, carries the scent of salt and thyme. Picture a bustling port, the gentle lapping of waves against the wooden hulls of ships. These are not just any ships. These are vessels that have journeyed far, traversing the vast expanse of the Mediterranean Sea. Their holds might contain, amongst other treasures, the exotic spoils of distant lands, and among them, perhaps, feathers, eggshells, or even the occasional live ostrich. The Greeks, with their insatiable curiosity and thirst for knowledge, would have undoubtedly encountered these magnificent birds. While not native to their land, ostriches held a certain mystique, a hint of the unknown that fueled both wonder and speculation. Their size alone would have been impressive, a stark contrast to the more familiar birds of Greece. Imagine their imposing silhouettes against the landscape, their long necks stretching towards the sky, their powerful legs carrying them across the plains. Their presence in Greek literature, though less prominent than some other cultures we've explored, is nonetheless intriguing. Try to envision a poet, pen in hand, describing the majestic creature. The words may not be readily available to us now, lost to the sands of time, but we can still reconstruct the scene. Perhaps the description focuses on the bird's speed, a fleeting image of motion captured in a few carefully chosen words. Or perhaps the poet dwells on the beauty of its plumage, the rich, contrasting colors evoking a sense of both exotic splendor and untamed wilderness. Consider the potential routes by which these magnificent birds, or at least their valuable products, reached the shores of Greece. Trade networks, the arteries of the ancient world, would have played a vital role. Imagine the arduous journeys, the long caravans winding their way through the deserts of North Africa, carrying precious goods eastward across the arid landscape. Picture the traders, their faces tanned and weathered by the sun, carefully guarding their cargo, including perhaps those prized ostrich feathers. These feathers, with their unique texture and vibrant hues, would have been highly sought after, used to adorn clothing and decorate ceremonial objects, adding a touch of elegance and exotic appeal to the lives of the wealthy and powerful. Their journey wouldn't have been easy. The treacherous desert crossings, the unpredictable weather, the challenges of navigation, these difficulties would have added to the value of the goods, making them all the more prized possessions. Upon reaching the coast, they would be loaded onto ships, their destination, the bustling ports of Greece. The traders might have been Phoenician, their ships skillfully navigating the waters, delivering their exotic cargo to eager buyers. Visualize now a Greek artist, painstakingly crafting a mosaic or perhaps painting a fresco. We may never know if they captured the essence of the bird directly from life, or whether their representation was based on stories passed down through generations. Yet we can imagine the scene, the artist meticulously applying pigments to the surface, capturing the essence of the ostrich in a still, silent moment. The result might be a small detail in a larger work, a subtle indication of the far-reaching trade networks of the era, or perhaps a central motif, the exotic bird proudly displayed as a symbol of wealth and status. Think of the colors, the textures, the delicate brushstrokes, all contributing to a captivating representation of a creature that, for the Greeks, would have symbolized the far-reaching horizons of their world, a world connected by trade, adventure, and the shared fascination with the wonders of nature. The artist, like the poet, strives to capture a fleeting moment, a fragment of the larger story. As the stillness of the night settles around you, let your mind continue to wander through these ancient landscapes, these imagined scenes of trade and artistry. Feel the coolness of the night air against your skin, the weight of your blanket, the gentle rhythm of your breath. The details may be few, but the possibilities are endless. Let the quiet contemplation of the past lull you towards a peaceful and restorative sleep. Drift away now into the quiet embrace of slumber. Drifting from the vibrant hues of the marketplace, our journey now takes us to a realm of myth and legend, to the shores of ancient Greece, where the sun dips low over the Aegean Sea, painting the sky in shades of amethyst and rose. Here, amidst the olive groves and marble temples, the ostrich, a creature of distant lands, takes on a different guise, a symbolic presence in the tapestry of Greek folklore and literature. Unlike the tangible reality of trade and commerce, the ostrich in Greek mythology often exists as a whisper on the wind, a fleeting image in the poet's verse, an echo in the storyteller's tales. The sheer size of the bird, its powerful legs, its swift movement across the vast landscapes, these were likely elements that sparked the imagination. Imagine the stories told around crackling fires, the hushed voices recounting tales of exotic beasts, brought back by sailors from distant shores, tales whispered of creatures as remarkable as the Cyclops or the Minotaur. The ostrich, a creature both magnificent and unfamiliar, would easily find its place amongst these legends. However, a direct and prominent role in core Greek mythology is noticeably absent. There's no grand epic poem dedicated to the ostrich, no Olympian god associated with its form. Instead, its presence is more subtle, often appearing as a detail, a symbol embedded within a larger narrative. Consider the imagery, the vastness of the African plains, its landscapes echoed in the boundless expanse of the sea, a parallel that the Greeks, great seafarers themselves, would readily understand. The ostrich, a creature of those faraway plains, might have represented the unknown, the untamed, the wild beauty that lay beyond the known world. Think of the feathers, their delicate structure, their softness, almost ethereal in quality. In the quiet contemplation of the Greek artist's workshop, these feathers might have inspired intricate patterns woven into fabrics, delicate brushstrokes in murals, or even the graceful curves of pottery. The plumage, a subtle reminder of the exotic bird, becomes a visual element, a thread woven into the artistic tapestry of daily life. Imagine a scene. A young artist, perhaps from a wealthy family, sketching the outline of an ostrich on a piece of papyrus, the faint scent of parchment filling the air. The charcoal glides across the surface, capturing the long, elegant neck, the powerful legs, the keen gaze of the bird. The artist, entranced by the mystery of the creature, is not merely copying its image. He is interpreting its essence, translating its distant presence into the familiar language of his art. The image might be used later to adorn a piece of jewelry or placed on an elegant scroll. Perhaps the scarcity of direct mythological representation is itself meaningful. The very absence of a central role speaks volumes. It points towards the Greek understanding of the world as a vast and interconnected place, where wonders both familiar and unknown existed side by side. The ostrich, therefore, represented not just a specific element of mythology, but rather the larger concept of wonder and exploration, a creature that embodied the unknown and the boundless possibilities that lay beyond the familiar horizon. The rustling of leaves outside your window, the gentle hum of the night, the quiet rhythm of your breath. These are the sounds of the present moment, a counterpoint to the hushed whispers of ancient Greece. As you drift toward sleep, let your mind linger on the image of the ostrich, a silent witness to the ebb and flow of civilizations. Feel the softness of your bed, the weight of your blanket, a comforting presence in this quiet space. Let the soft texture of the night air, perhaps smelling faintly of earth and dew, lull you deeper and deeper into the restful embrace of sleep. The stories continue, whispered on the wind, a legacy of the past, whispering tales to the present. Allow the rhythm of your breathing to slow, to deepen, to guide you gently into the peaceful realm of slumber. Let the stillness of the night settle upon you, and allow yourself to drift away, to dream, to rest. And so, The whispers of antiquity carry us forward, across the Mediterranean Sea, to the heart of the Roman Empire. Imagine, if you will, the bustling marketplaces of Rome, the scent of spices and olives mingling with the dust of the roads. But amongst the familiar sights and sounds, a more exotic presence emerges: the ostrich. Not a common sight, certainly, yet its presence echoes throughout the records, a testament to the reach of the Roman Empire and its insatiable appetite for luxury goods. The Romans, masters of trade and conquest, encountered ostriches primarily through their extensive network of commerce. North Africa, a significant source of grain and other resources, also provided a pathway to the feathered giants of the Sahara. Imagine the long caravans laden with exotic goods, slowly traversing the vast landscapes, the rhythmic thud of camel hooves, a soothing accompaniment to the vast, open skies. The ostriches captured or traded would have been a part of this arduous journey, their immense size and unusual plumage a stark contrast to the more mundane cargo. The most prized possession, of course, was the ostrich feather. Picture, if you can, the shimmering iridescence of these plumes, their lightness belied by their exceptional beauty. These were not merely decorative items. They were symbols of wealth and status, adorning the helmets of centurions, the chariots of the wealthy, and the elaborate costumes of performers. Imagine the subtle movement of these feathers, a gentle rustling that would have captivated the eye, a whisper of luxury in the grand arenas and lavish villas of the Roman world. The soft down, light as a summer breeze, might have been used to line fine garments, adding a layer of softness and elegance to the already luxurious textiles. Beyond the feathers, the Romans also seem to have appreciated the ostrich itself, at least as a curiosity. While there's limited evidence of widespread ostrich farming on the scale witnessed in later centuries, various accounts hint at their presence within the empire. Imagine a large, enclosed aviary, perhaps within a wealthy patrician's estate, a curious and exotic addition to the gardens. The birds, powerful and imposing, yet capable of a surprisingly gentle demeanor, would have been a spectacle to behold. Their deep, rumbling calls, a low vibration resonating through the air, might have added an unusual, almost hypnotic element to the estate's soundscape. The eggs, too, held a certain allure. Enormous, strong shells, capable of withstanding considerable force. Imagine their smooth, chalky surface, their near-perfect ovoid shape. These eggs would not have been just a source of sustenance, but also potentially used for decorative purposes, or perhaps as unusual vessels, holding perfumes or other precious liquids. The Romans, known for their artistic prowess, may have incorporated these eggshells into intricate mosaics, or carved designs into their surfaces, transforming these natural marvels into works of art. Picture the subtle light catching the curves of the eggshell, the smooth surface reflecting the soft glow of a Roman lamp. The exact details remain fragmented, whispered secrets scattered amongst the ruins. The evidence is patchy, as if the sands of time themselves have attempted to obscure the full extent of the Roman-ostrich relationship. Yet, even through these gaps in knowledge, we can reconstruct a tantalizing glimpse into this interaction, a relationship woven through commerce, status, and a fascination with the exotic. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, a gentle reminder of the Mediterranean climate that once housed these majestic birds. Imagine the scent of the earth, the dust of the Roman roads settling gently onto the feathers, a silent chronicle of the past. Let these images, these sounds, these sensory details lull you into a deeper state of relaxation. Breathe deeply, feel the weight of your blanket, and allow the whispers of the Roman Empire to carry you away towards the peaceful slumber of the night. Let the rhythm of your breath slow, deepen, carry you gently, drift, rest, sleep, drift, rest, sleep, the whispers of the Roman Empire. Carrying on the warm Mediterranean breeze, bring us to a new facet of the ostrich's story, the grand spectacle of the Roman gladiatorial games. Did these magnificent birds, symbols of exotic lands and immense power, ever grace the sands of the arena? The evidence, as with much of our exploration, is fragmented, scattered like fallen feathers in the wind. Yet even these fragmented clues hold a certain fascination, a quiet allure that invites us to piece together the puzzle, one carefully considered detail at a time. Imagine the Colosseum, bathed in the golden light of the setting sun. The roar of the crowd, a low, rumbling hum, a collective breath held in anticipation. The scent of sweat, dust, and the earthy aroma of the packed arena floor fills the air. We search the surviving records, the faded papyrus scrolls, and worn stone inscriptions for any mention of ostriches in this dramatic context. Direct evidence remains elusive. No clear depiction, no explicit account in surviving writings, leaps out to confirm the participation of ostriches in gladiatorial combat. The absence of such evidence, however, does not negate the possibility. The Romans, known for their extravagant displays and insatiable appetite for the unusual, might well have considered the inclusion of such an exotic creature in their public spectacles. Consider the sheer spectacle of it, a massive ostrich, its powerful legs a blur, facing a gladiator armed with only a net and trident. The sheer size and ferocity of the bird, a creature seemingly more monstrous than man, would have instilled awe, perhaps even terror, in the hearts of the spectators. The clash of feathers against steel, the rhythmic thud of powerful strides, and the bird's desperate struggles, these are images easily conjured, even without the concrete proof of their reality. Perhaps they weren't gladiators in the traditional sense, but rather part of a more exotic, symbolic presentation. Imagine for a moment the slow, deliberate procession of the ostrich into the arena, its plumage shimmering under the Roman sun, a symbol of foreign lands, a potent emblem of power in the emperor's reach. It might have been paraded as a testament to Roman might and its very presence, a living trophy from the far reaches of the empire, would have been a display in itself, far more captivating than any staged battle. We must consider the practicalities too. The temperament of ostriches, even with training, would have presented significant challenges. Their strength and speed would have rendered them extremely difficult to control. A single panicked bird could have wreaked havoc in the arena, endangering both gladiators and spectators alike. This inherent unpredictability may explain why their inclusion remained rare, if it occurred at all. Let us delve into the economic factors. Ostriches, we know, were imported into Rome, often as extravagant gifts to the wealthy and powerful. Their feathers, highly prized for ornamentation, commanded substantial prices. The cost of transporting and maintaining such large exotic birds would have been considerable. The logistical hurdles, in addition to the inherent risks, might have simply made the inclusion of ostriches in gladiatorial contests impractical. Yet let us continue to explore the possibilities. Perhaps, instead of facing a gladiator in combat, ostriches served as part of the grander pageantries held within the arena. Their presence, even as passive participants, would have added a unique element to the spectacle. We can imagine them forming part of elaborate triumphal processions, a moving display of exotic animals alongside lions, tigers, and other beasts of the empire. The faint echo of the crowd's roar lingers, carrying with it the weight of centuries. We find ourselves once more drawn back into the depths of antiquity. The fragmented picture remains incomplete, yet its very incompleteness inspires the imagination. Feel the cool night air on your skin, a contrast to the Roman sun that once blazed down upon the arena. Let the sounds of the distant city, the gentle rustling of leaves, lull you into a deeper slumber. Breathe deeply, relax, sleep. The murmur of the Roman crowds fades, replaced by the whisper of wind through tall grasses. Imagine, if you will, a different kind of Roman spectacle, one less focused on the clash of steel and more on the subtle shimmer of feathers. We move now from the arena to the bustling marketplaces, the opulent villas, and the intricate workshops of the Roman Empire. Here, the ostrich, though largely absent in its physical form, held a place of considerable importance, a place woven into the very fabric of Roman life through its feathers. Picture a merchant, his weathered hands carefully arranging bundles of feathers, each plume a deep, rich black, others a striking white, some displaying the subtle variations of brown and gray. These were not just any feathers. These were the coveted plumes of the ostrich, imported from the far reaches of the empire, their journey a testament to the extensive Roman trade networks. The sun glints off the polished surfaces of ivory combs and bone needles used for weaving and arranging the feathers. The air is thick with the scent of fine dyes and aromatic oils, used to enhance the plumage's natural vibrancy. The soft rustling of the feathers themselves, a delicate whisper in the busy marketplace, is a sound that could lull even the most restless soul. The source of these magnificent feathers is a story in itself. Imagine vast sun-drenched landscapes dotted with acacia trees and scrub, the home of the majestic ostrich. We can almost feel the heat radiating from the sun-baked earth, the dryness clinging to the air. These birds, captured or perhaps farmed, were primarily sourced from the northern reaches of Africa, the lands south of the Sahara. Caravans, long lines of camels burdened with precious cargo, would traverse the desert, carrying these feathers northward, their journey punctuated by the rhythmic cadence of hooves on sand. The rhythmic swaying of the caravan, the slow, steady progress, lulls the senses. The desert heat, the endless sky, it all combines to a quiet hum that encourages tranquility. These precious plumes did not simply arrive in Rome and find their way onto the market stalls. The feathers embarked on a complex journey, passing through many hands. We can envision the intricate network of traders, their voices hushed in negotiations, their movements precise as they transferred these valuable goods. Picture the bustling ports, the constant activity of sailors unloading ships, the vibrant mix of languages and smells, the weight of each feather bale, the feel of its rough woven sack all contribute to the texture of this complex exchange. The rhythmic creaking of ship timbers and the gentle lapping of waves create a gentle lullaby. The uses of ostrich feathers in Roman society were surprisingly diverse. They were, of course, highly prized for their decorative qualities. They adorned the attire of the wealthy and powerful, providing a touch of exotic luxury. Imagine the soft, luxurious feel of an ostrich feather boa against your skin, the weightless elegance of a feather headdress. The colors, muted yet somehow vibrant, soothe the eye. The gentle touch of the feather is a calming sensation. But their usage extended beyond mere adornment. Ostrich feathers were woven into intricate tapestries, used to decorate chariots and litters, and even employed as decorative elements in architecture. Feel the cool texture of the polished marble as the intricate feather inlay captures the light. The subtle interplay of light and shadow, the varied hues of the feathers, all create a sense of peace. Think of the meticulous skill of the artisans, their nimble fingers, working tirelessly to create these magnificent works. The quiet concentration of their labor, the delicate placement of each feather, it's all a meditative process. Imagine the scent of oils and dyes lingering in the air, a subtle perfume that soothes the senses, the steady rhythm of the artisan's work, a gentle counterpoint to the stillness of the night. The trade in ostrich feathers, therefore, represents more than just a commercial activity. It was an intricate network that linked Rome to the farthest corners of its empire, a system of exchange that facilitated the movement of goods, ideas, and people. It was a testament to Roman power and reach, a subtle reminder of the empire's extensive influence. Let the image of this vast network, this silent flow of goods, soothe you into slumber. Breathe deeply, and let the rhythm of the trade routes calm your mind. Sleep, sleep. And now let us consider a different aspect of this vast exchange, one equally fascinating and perhaps even more subtly captivating, the journey of the ostrich egg. Imagine, if you will, a crate, carefully constructed of sturdy wood, its interior lined with soft straw to protect its precious cargo. Within, nestled amongst the straw, are several ostrich eggs, their shells a magnificent creamy white, faintly speckled, with minute imperfections that only add to their natural beauty. These are not just any eggs. These are emissaries from the far reaches of the empire, ambassadors of a land of sun-drenched plains and swift, powerful birds. The journey these eggs undertake is long and arduous, traversing miles of land and sea. Picture the rhythmic creak of the cart wheels as it slowly makes its way along a Roman road, the gentle, swaying motion a hypnotic lullaby. Feel the sun's warmth on your skin. You imagine the caravan moving through the landscape, the dust settling softly around the wheels. A fine, almost imperceptible powder, the air is filled with the scent of dry earth and distant wildflowers, a subtle fragrance that weaves its way into the very fabric of the journey. Upon arriving in Rome, these eggs were far from simply destined for the kitchen. While their nutritional value was undoubtedly appreciated, their unique qualities led to a wider range of applications within Roman society. Think of the artisans once more, but now imagine their tools subtly changing. Instead of feathers, they worked with the incredibly sturdy shells, a material both strong and surprisingly delicate in its own way. The shell's smooth surface, cool to the touch, would have presented itself as a blank canvas to the skilled hands of a Roman artist. Imagine the slow, careful process of cleaning the shell, removing any residue to reveal its pristine surface, the faint scent of the shell itself, perhaps subtly earthy and slightly chalky, a calming scent in the midst of the artist's quiet concentration. Some of these eggs were transformed into elegant vessels, their surfaces carefully etched with intricate patterns, scenes from mythology, or the portraits of beloved emperors. Picture the delicate strokes of the artisan's tool, each line a testament to their skill and patience. Imagine the cool, smooth surface of the eggshell, feeling the gentle pressure of the tool as it glides across the surface, creating the initial lines of a stunning design. The rhythmic scratching, a soft counterpoint to the quiet hum of the Roman city, lulls you further into a state of calm. These intricately carved vessels were likely treasured possessions, objects of beauty and status, symbolic of the empire's power and reach. Others were used for more practical purposes, perhaps as lamps or containers for precious oils and perfumes. Imagine the warm glow of an oil lamp fashioned from a carefully hollowed ostrich egg, casting a soft, inviting light on a Roman interior. Feel the gentle heat radiating from the lamp, a comforting sensation that promotes relaxation and sleep. The faint scent of olive oil, mingling with the subtle aroma of the eggshell, creates a soothing atmosphere, perfect for restful slumber. The rhythmic flicker of the flame, a gentle dance of light and shadow, a hypnotic rhythm that calms the mind and soothes the soul. There are hints, too, in fragmented texts and obscure medical treatises that ostrich eggs might have played a role in Roman medicine. The ancient world was not averse to unconventional remedies, and the properties of the egg, both its shell and contents, may have been seen as possessing certain curative powers. Picture these ancient physicians, their faces etched with the weight of their responsibilities, carefully preparing remedies, the meticulous grinding of the shell, the precise measuring of ingredients, the gentle blending of concoctions, the smells, subtle herbs, perhaps a hint of honey or other natural sweeteners, mixed with the faintly earthy aroma of the eggshell, the silence in the apothecary, punctuated only by the gentle sounds of preparation. Let the image of this ancient care soothe you, and imagine the soothing properties of these now lost remedies. The story of the ostrich egg in the Roman world is a tapestry woven from threads of artistry, practicality, and perhaps even a touch of superstition. It is a testament to the ingenuity and resourcefulness of the Roman people, their ability to transform the exotic into the everyday, the far-flung into the familiar. Let the imagery of these exquisite artifacts, these practical vessels, these possibly healing elixirs, transport you to a place of serenity and peace. Breathe deeply. Let the quiet rhythm of ancient Rome lull you into a deep and restorative sleep. Sleep, sleep. And now let us journey westward, across the vast expanse of the Mediterranean to the sun-drenched shores of North Africa. Here, amidst the shifting sands and the vibrant tapestry of ancient cultures, the ostrich held a place of significance quite distinct from its Roman counterpart. Imagine the wind whispering through the date palms, carrying the scent of warm sand and distant sea. Picture the sun, a molten orb sinking below the horizon, casting long shadows across the dunes. This is the landscape that shaped the relationship between North African peoples and the majestic ostrich. In ancient Libya, for instance, the ostrich was more than just a source of feathers or eggs. Its presence permeated the very fabric of life. Evidence suggests that its feathers adorned the ceremonial garments of tribal leaders, their glossy sheen catching the light, symbols of power and prestige. Visualize these plumes, each one meticulously selected, carefully arranged, their soft texture a contrast to the harshness of the desert. Imagine the weight of tradition, the legacy of generations woven into each feather, as it swayed gently in the desert breeze. Beyond the purely symbolic, ostriches undoubtedly played a significant role in the practical lives of these peoples. Their meat provided sustenance, a valuable source of protein in a harsh environment. Imagine the communal preparations, the rhythmic slicing of the meat, the shared meal under the star-dusted sky, a moment of unity and shared experience, the scent of cooking meat mingling with the aromatic spices of North Africa hanging heavy in the air. Feel the warmth of the fire, the comforting community surrounding it, the shared meal symbolizing survival and resilience in a challenging landscape. Carthage, that mighty city on the coast, also knew the ostrich well. While perhaps not as central to their culture as in some interior regions, ostriches certainly featured in their bustling marketplace. Picture the vibrant chaos of the Carthaginian souk, a symphony of sounds and smells where merchants hawked their wares, the scent of spices and exotic goods filling the air. Amongst the silks, the perfumes, and the precious metals, we might imagine ostrich eggs, their shells carved into intricate vessels being traded, their beauty and practical value equally appreciated. Imagine the cool smoothness of the shell against your fingertips, the subtle weight of the object, the artistry of the carvings, each line a testament to the skill of the artisan. Beyond Carthage, the story of the ostrich in North Africa unfolds in a mosaic of diverse cultures, each leaving its unique mark. The Numidians, Berber tribes, and others who inhabited this vast region likely interacted with ostriches in ways we may only partially understand today. Archaeological findings, often fragmentary, offer glimpses into their lives. Shards of pottery, perhaps decorated with ostrich motifs, remnants of tools used for processing ostrich hides, a scattering of eggshells hinting at their culinary use. Let your mind wander, filling in the gaps with ancient life, echoing through these fragmented stories. Consider the soundscape of these interactions. The call of the ostrich echoing across the plains, a deep, resonant sound that would have been both familiar and awe-inspiring to these people. The rustle of feathers as an ostrich moved, the thud of its massive feet on the hard-packed ground, the sounds of hunting, the shouts of men, the cries of animals, all blending into the vast, echoing silence of the desert. Let these sounds wash over you, calm and soothe you as we continue our journey. And consider the textures, the rough, leathery feel of the ostrich hide, its potential for crafting practical items like boots and shields, the smoothness of a polished eggshell, cool against the cheek, the subtle texture of the feathers, their softness, their unique sheen. Close your eyes and feel these textures. Let their smoothness and roughness lull you into a tranquil state. Let them take you to a place of rest and relaxation. The story of the ostrich in North Africa, like the desert itself, is vast and varied, a landscape of mystery and intrigue. Yet even the fragmented pieces of this story speak volumes, revealing a deep and enduring relationship between humans and these majestic birds, a relationship woven into the very fabric of their ancient cultures. Let this rich tapestry of images, sounds, and textures enfold you, gently guiding you towards the embrace of sleep. Sleep now. Sleep now. And as you drift, let us cross the vast, shimmering expanse of the Mediterranean, leaving the sun-drenched shores of North Africa behind. Our journey continues eastward towards the sun-baked sands of the Arabian Peninsula. Imagine the slow, rhythmic sway of a camel caravan, the scent of spices and sand mingling in the dry air. The sun beats down relentless, yet the air holds a certain stillness, a quietude that speaks of ancient secrets buried deep within the dunes. And here, in this harsh yet beautiful landscape, we find another chapter in the story of the ostrich. The Arabian Peninsula, a land of vast deserts and oases, a cradle of civilizations and empires, also held a place for the mighty ostrich. Though perhaps less prominent than in some other regions, the presence of the ostrich is nonetheless undeniable, woven into the fabric of ancient Arabian life. Imagine the sight. A lone ostrich, silhouetted against the setting sun, its powerful legs carrying it across a seemingly endless expanse of sand. Picture the deep, resonant sound of its call, a haunting echo in the stillness of the desert night. Unlike the more frequent depiction of ostriches in North African art, their representation in the Arabian Peninsula's ancient records is sparser, more elusive. Yet fragments remain. Archaeological digs have unearthed fragments of ostrich eggshell, painstakingly carved or etched, suggesting their use as vessels or decorative objects. Close your eyes and envision these fragments. The delicate curves of the eggshell, the subtle patterns etched into its surface, a testament to the artistry and patience of those who handled them. Feel the coolness of the eggshell against your fingertips, a soothing contrast to the heat of the desert sun. The sheer size of these eggs, a marvel in themselves, speaks to the power and majesty of the bird they came from. Consider the practical applications. The strong, supple leather of the ostrich hide, used perhaps for water skins, sturdy sandals, or perhaps even for saddles or coverings for the backs of camels. Imagine the texture, the smooth, almost velvety feel of the tanned leather, becoming softer and more pliable with time and use. In the harsh conditions of the desert, the durability and practicality of ostrich products would have been invaluable, and their quality, their inherent sturdiness, must have been deeply appreciated. The feathers, too, played a role, though perhaps a less prominent one than in some other parts of the world. Picture, if you will, a single, exquisitely long and dark ostrich feather, perhaps used for ceremonial purposes or as a decoration in the hair. Imagine its softness, its subtle iridescence in the sunlight, the almost weightless feel of it against your skin. Let the image soothe your mind, the lightness and airiness guiding you toward a peaceful slumber. The Bedouin tribes, nomadic people who roamed the vast deserts, likely encountered ostriches regularly. Their survival depended on a deep understanding of the land and its creatures. Their knowledge of the ostrich's habits, their migratory patterns, their breeding grounds, this knowledge would have been essential, passed down through generations. Imagine a young Bedouin child learning from their elders, watching the graceful movements of the ostrich, absorbing knowledge that has been carried across centuries. Oral traditions, sadly, often remain lost to time, but we can still envision the stories that were told, the legends that grew up around these powerful birds. Perhaps stories of ostriches' speed and agility, their ability to elude predators, stories woven into the very fabric of Bedouin culture. The wind whispers tales across the desert sands, and the spirit of the ostrich lives on, a part of the land, a part of its history. Now, as the faint scent of frankincense and myrrh drifts on the night air, let the images fade, becoming softer, gentler. The textures, the sounds, the stories, allow them to merge into a comforting blanket of serenity. The vastness of the Arabian desert, the mystery of the past, all melt away, leaving only the gentle rhythm of your breath, the slow, steady beat of your heart. Let the quietude of the night embrace you, and surrender to the embrace of sleep. Sleep now. And so the desert night settles deeper, the stars pricking the velvet cloth of the sky. Let us now turn our attention to the pre-Islamic Arabian Peninsula, a land sculpted by wind and sun, a land where the ostrich, that magnificent creature of the sands, held a significant place in the hearts and minds of its inhabitants. The evidence, though fragmented by the passage of time, whispers to us from the dust of forgotten centuries. Imagine, if you will, the faint traces of ochre and charcoal on weathered stone. These are the remnants of ancient petroglyphs, etched under the surfaces of rocks that have stood sentinel for millennia. Among the depictions of hunting scenes, of camels traversing the dunes, of celestial bodies charting their courses across the night sky, we occasionally find the ostrich, not a detailed, realistic portrayal perhaps, but a suggestive outline, a capture of essence, the long, elegant neck, the powerful legs, the distinctive plumage, all rendered with a simplicity that speaks of a profound understanding of the creature's significance. Feel the rough texture of the stone beneath your fingertips. Imagine the artist's hand, guided by generations of inherited knowledge, painstakingly recording the image on the ancient surface. The colors themselves tell a story. Subtle shifts in tone, a play of light and shadow that evokes the shimmering heat haze of the desert midday, the cooler, calmer hues of the twilight hour. The artist wasn't simply replicating reality. They were capturing a feeling, an aura, the very spirit of the ostrich within its desert environment. Let the images become less defined, softer still, merging with the tranquil rhythm of your breathing. Moving beyond the visual arts, let us delve into the realm of pre-Islamic Arabian literature. These texts, often passed down through oral tradition before being committed to writing, are a treasure trove of insights into the cultural significance of the ostrich. While direct references are sometimes scarce, we can glean information through careful interpretation. Consider, for instance, the poetic allusions to speed and agility, to the ostrich's ability to outpace its pursuers. The swiftness of the bird becomes a metaphor, a symbol of freedom, of escape, of the untamed spirit of the desert itself. Picture the scene, a Bedouin poet under the vast expanse of the starlit sky, reciting verses that evoke the image of the ostrich fleeing across the moonlit sands. Hear the rhythmic cadence of the words, the musicality of the language, the way the sounds mirror the sounds of the desert wind, the whisper of sand on sand. Feel the coolness of the desert night on your skin as the words transport you to that time, to that place. The ostrich's feathers, too, held a special place in pre-Islamic Arabian culture. These lightweight yet strong plumes were valued for their beauty and practicality. They were used in decorative purposes, perhaps adorning the headdresses of warriors or dignitaries. Imagine the soft, delicate texture of the feathers, the way the light catches their subtle iridescence, creating a shifting tapestry of color. The imagery of the ostrich's strength and resilience is evident too. The ostrich, capable of surviving in the harshest environments, represented an enduring spirit, a power that could withstand even the most challenging circumstances. This concept, reflected in the various symbolic uses of ostrich imagery, provided a powerful connection to the land, to the culture, to the deeply ingrained sense of survival that was essential to the inhabitants of the Arabian Peninsula. Now, as the night deepens, allow your mind to drift. The images of pre-Islamic Arabian art and literature, the ostriches and their desert habitat, the ancient texts, the subtle colors and textures, all gently fade, yielding to the calmness of the night. The rhythmic beat of your heart, the slow, even rise and fall of your breath, these are your anchors in this quietude, this deepening sleep. The vastness of the desert, the mystery of the past melt away, leaving only the serenity of the present moment. Breathe deeply and let sleep embrace you. Sleep now. The whisper of the desert wind carries us onward, to a time when the hunt for the ostrich was not merely a pursuit of sustenance, but a complex dance between human ingenuity and the powerful, untamed spirit of the bird. Imagine, if you will, the sun dipping below the horizon, casting long shadows across the undulating dunes. The air, still warm from the day's relentless heat, carries the faint, earthy scent of dry grasses and distant smoke from a nomadic fire. The silence of the desert, broken only by the occasional rustle of unseen creatures, is profound. This is the world of the ancient ostrich hunter. Their methods, passed down through generations, were as varied as the landscapes they traversed. One common technique, favored for its stealth, relied on the hunter's intimate knowledge of the ostrich's behavior. Patience, above all else, was paramount. The hunter, often camouflaged in earth tones, would move with excruciating slowness, mimicking the natural movements of the desert. He would slowly creep, a creeping shadow amidst the shifting sands, inching closer to a solitary bird, or perhaps a small family group grazing peacefully. The approach would take hours, sometimes a whole day. The sun's slow descent would provide the hunter with cover as shadows grew longer. The feeling of the dry, warm sand on his skin, the weight of the spear or net in his hands, the rhythmic pounding of his own heart, these were his companions in this silent, intense vigil. The slightest movement, a misplaced footfall, the glint of metal in the fading light, any of these could send the powerful birds fleeing across the unforgiving expanse. Success demanded absolute stillness, a mastery of self-retreat, a profound connection to the rhythms of the desert itself. Once within range, the hunter would unleash their weapon. The spear, a carefully crafted tool of bone or wood, tipped with obsidian or flint, would be thrown with a precise, practiced motion. The net, woven from strong, durable fibers, required skill and timing, demanding a deft movement to ensnare the bird's powerful legs. This was not a chase, not a pursuit of speed, but a calculated strike, a strategic engagement. Other methods involved the use of traps. Simple pits, cleverly concealed beneath a thin layer of sand, would lie in wait, catching the unwary bird. The careful placement of these pits, their size and depth expertly judged, demonstrated an intimate understanding of the ostrich's natural gait and movements. These pit traps were lined with sharpened stakes or thorns, which would severely impede the ostrich's movements. The hunter would approach the trapped bird with caution, using additional weapons to subdue it. This was undoubtedly dangerous work, demanding both strength and courage. The use of dogs, specifically trained breeds accustomed to the harsh desert conditions, also played a significant role in some cultures' hunting methods. These dogs, typically swift and agile, would be deployed to tire the birds, harrying them until they were exhausted and easier to capture. This method often involved a coordinated team effort, with multiple hunters working in unison to bring down the prey. The sounds of the hunt, the barking of the dogs, the calls of the hunters, the frustrated cries of the ostrich, all would echo across the vast desert landscape. The risks involved in hunting ostriches were considerable. An adult ostrich's kick could be fatal, its powerful legs capable of inflicting devastating injuries. The birds were large, strong, and fiercely protective of their young. The hunters risked not only injury but also exposure to the harsh desert elements and the ever-present threat of exhaustion and dehydration. Their success was a testament to their skills, their courage, and their intimate understanding of both their prey and their environment. The hunt, therefore, transcended simple sustenance. It was a ritual, a testament to human resilience in the face of a formidable opponent. And now, as the moon casts its soft light, let the images of the hunt fade, replaced by the gentle rhythm of your breathing, the peaceful settling of your body into the welcoming embrace of slumber. Sleep, sleep. The whispers of the desert wind carry us now to a different aspect of the ancient ostrich story, a quieter, more contemplative facet. We leave behind the thrill of the hunt, the exertion, the risk, and turn our attention to a more nuanced question: the attempted domestication of these magnificent birds. Did ancient civilizations ever try to tame the untamable? Did they attempt to bring the powerful ostrich from the wild spaces into the confines of human settlements? The evidence, as so often in the study of antiquity, is fragmented, subtle, suggestive rather than conclusive. Imagine, if you will, the immense undertaking such a project would entail. Picture a young ostrich chick plucked from its nest amidst the harsh, unforgiving landscape, the soft down of its feathers, the hesitant movements of its newly formed legs, the plaintive peep of its calls. To raise such a creature would require a level of patience, dedication, and understanding that few could have mustered. The chick's diet would need careful attention, a balanced mix of insects, plants, and possibly specially prepared grains. Then there would be the challenges of growth, of managing the bird's increasing size and strength. Even a young ostrich possesses a formidable kick. The archaeological record offers little direct evidence of widespread ostrich domestication in antiquity. There are no ancient farm depictions showcasing rows of meticulously tended ostriches, no fossilized remains of domesticated birds indicating consistent breeding patterns that would suggest controlled environments. The very nature of the evidence we seek is ephemeral. Bones, unlike stone tools or pottery, are easily lost or scattered by the passage of time. Even the most careful of ancient burials might fail to preserve the fragile remains of domesticated animals. However, the absence of concrete proof is not the same as the absence of possibility. Indirect evidence offers tantalizing glimpses, hints of interaction that may suggest some level of controlled breeding, even if not full domestication. We know that the eggs of ostriches held great value. Their sheer size and their rich, nourishing yolks made them a prized commodity. The discovery of ostrich eggshells in various ancient settlements suggests a level of interaction that exceeded simple predation. These shells often bear marks of human workmanship. Some are pierced, perhaps to be used as containers. Others are intricately carved or painted. These decorative motifs suggest more than a mere utilitarian function. The eggs were cherished, possibly even held as sacred objects, which may point towards a level of controlled breeding to ensure a steady supply. Consider also the representations of ostriches in ancient art. Many depict the bird in scenes that do not seem solely to represent hunting or battle. Some illustrations show ostriches interacting with humans in ways that seem curiously intimate, suggesting a degree of familiarity and perhaps even a level of trust. The accuracy of these representations varies, of course, and some could simply be artistic interpretations reflecting a cultural understanding rather than a direct observation of domestication. The climatic conditions of ancient regions may have also played a role. Domesticating ostriches would have been easier in some regions than others. The arid regions where ostriches naturally thrived may have posed challenges in terms of food security. It's not inconceivable that ancient peoples might have experimented with domestication in some areas, but encountered difficulties in sustaining such practices, given the resources required. As the embers of our campfire die down, the stillness of the night descends once more, we continue to contemplate these fragmented pieces of evidence, each a tiny shard of a long-lost story. The puzzle remains incomplete, the mystery only partially resolved. Perhaps, ultimately, the question isn't whether or not ostriches were successfully domesticated in antiquity, but rather the extent to which people attempted such a feat and the myriad challenges they faced. Let the whispers of the desert night lull you into peaceful sleep, the gentle rhythm of your breathing a counterpoint to the quiet mysteries that remain. Rest now, and allow the darkness to embrace you. Sleep, sleep. The desert air, cool and still against your skin. The faint scent of sagebrush hangs in the darkness, a subtle perfume on the night wind. Let us turn now gently to the economic threads woven into the tapestry of ancient life. Threads often intertwined with the magnificent ostrich. The previous questions of domestication, of hardship, of the elusive answers buried beneath the sands, lead us naturally to a consideration of the broader impact of these magnificent creatures on the economies of ancient societies. Imagine, if you will, the bustling marketplaces of ancient Egypt, the sun glinting off polished surfaces, the air alive with the murmur of bartering voices. Among the silks, spices, and precious metals, a different kind of trade flourished, the trade in ostrich feathers. These feathers, light yet strong, possessing a captivating iridescence, were not merely decorative adornments. They held significant economic value, used in the creation of ceremonial headdresses, fine clothing, and elaborate fans for the elite. The vibrant hues, ranging from the deep blacks to the snowy whites, commanded impressive prices, reflecting the effort required to obtain them and the prestige associated with their possession. Think of the careful selection process, the meticulous cleaning and preparation, the hours spent weaving these exquisite plumes into magnificent garments. Each feather, a tiny piece of a larger economic puzzle, its worth determined not only by its beauty, but also by the distance it had traveled, the hardships overcome in its acquisition. Moving eastward, towards the opulent courts of Mesopotamia, the picture shifts, but the economic significance remains. Ostrich eggs, large and strong, served not only as a source of food, but also as containers, their shells carefully cleaned, perhaps engraved with intricate designs, and used to hold precious oils, perfumes, or even pigments for artists. Their durable nature, combined with their striking appearance, made them a valuable commodity, their trade reflecting the far-reaching networks that connected these ancient civilizations. Picture the caravans, slow and deliberate in their journey across the harsh landscapes, each egg carefully nestled within layers of protective material, each one a tangible representation of economic exchange. The weight of these eggs, their sheer size, their fragility, all contributed to their value, and the skill required to transport them safely across vast distances, through deserts and mountains, speaks to the ingenuity and resilience of the traders themselves. The Roman Empire, in its vast expanse, also felt the economic impact of ostriches. Evidence suggests that ostrich feathers were highly prized in Roman society, used in decorative displays, in the adornment of chariots, and even in the creation of magnificent fans used to cool wealthy patrons in the heat of the summer. Imagine the bustling activity within the Roman ports. The arrival of ships laden with exotic goods, amongst which, perhaps nestled within carefully crafted crates, were the coveted plumes of ostriches. The demand for these feathers, fueled by Roman wealth and extravagance, likely stimulated trade networks spanning vast distances, connecting the far reaches of the empire to the more remote habitats of ostriches. The economic ripples of this trade were undoubtedly significant, shaping trade routes, influencing prices for other goods, and supporting the livelihoods of countless individuals involved in the acquisition, processing, and distribution of these exotic plumes. The weight of the evidence speaks to the lasting legacy of the ostrich, not just as a symbol, but also as a significant economic player in the ancient world. The hushed whisper of the desert wind carries with it the echoes of this ancient commerce, a testament to the enduring relationship between humans and these remarkable birds. The sun begins its slow ascent, painting the eastern horizon with soft hues of rose and gold. And as the dawn breaks, carrying with it the promise of a new day, let the serenity of the desert continue to calm your mind. Sleep now, and let the gentle rhythm of your breath carry you to peaceful slumber. The sun, a molten orb rising slowly over the sand, casts long, languid shadows. As the desert awakens, so too does our exploration of the ostrich's enduring presence in the ancient world. We've traced its economic impact, the intricate web of trade it spun across vast distances. Now, let us turn our attention to the more elusive, yet equally captivating aspect of the ostrich, its symbolic weight across diverse cultures. In ancient Egypt, the ostrich, a creature of the far-off desert, held a position of both fascination and reverence. Imagine, if you will, the hieroglyphs painstakingly etched onto the tomb walls, depicting majestic ostriches, their plumage rendered with delicate strokes of black and red, mirroring the hues of the desert sunrise and sunset. These images weren't mere illustrations, they were imbued with deeper meaning, representing speed, grace, and the untamed power of the desert itself. The ostrich feather, a symbol of Ma'at, the goddess of truth, justice, and cosmic order, adorned the headdresses of pharaohs and dignitaries, a tangible representation of their authority and connection to the divine. Feel the weight of those feathers, light as air, yet heavy with symbolic significance, a whisper of power against your skin. Let the image soothe you, carrying you towards tranquility. Journey with me now across the vast expanse of the ancient Near East, where the ostrich takes on a different guise. In Mesopotamia, the land of two rivers, the ostrich's image, though less frequent than in Egypt, appears in artistic representations, often depicted alongside other exotic animals. The sand, a fine, almost powdery texture, drifts through our memories, shaping the landscape of these ancient stories. The interpretations, though less clearly defined than in Egypt, seem to hint at the bird's association with speed, strength, and perhaps even a touch of the otherworldly. Here, the significance feels less formalized, more a reflection of the animal's inherent qualities, a primal understanding of the ostrich's place within the natural order. The slow, deliberate pace of a caravan crossing the desert, the rhythmic creak of the camel's gait, mirrors the deliberate pace of our study. Let the rhythm soothe your mind. Moving further west, into the heart of the classical world, the ostrich's symbolic presence shifts once more. In ancient Greece, its exotic nature solidified its place as a creature of wonder, often featured in myths and legends. Imagine the vibrant colors of a painted Greek vase, depicting a scene of mythical beings, perhaps a goddess or a hero, interacting with this unusual bird. The precise symbolism remains somewhat ambiguous, yet the very act of inclusion speaks volume. The ostrich becomes, in a way, a symbol of the unknown, a representative of lands far beyond the familiar shores of the Mediterranean. The scent of the sea, a faint saline whisper, mixes with the dust of the desert, a testament to the vastness of the world. and the interconnectedness of its ancient cultures. Allow the sense to relax you. The Roman Empire, inheriting the classical world's fascination with the exotic, embraced the ostrich. Roman mosaics, their intricate patterns revealing glimpses into daily life, showcase ostriches in various contexts. Here it seems the bird's symbolism becomes intertwined with imperial grandeur. The display of ostrich feathers, a symbol of wealth and power, adorns the attire of important figures. Feel the luxurious weight of the imagined feathers, the smooth texture of the plumes against your skin. The slow, deliberate rendering of these artistic representations speaks to the slow, deliberate nature of our study. Let the detail bring a sense of calm. Finally, let's not forget the indigenous cultures of Africa, who lived side by side with ostriches for millennia. Their understanding of the bird, deeply rooted in their connection to the land, transcended mere symbolism. The ostrich was a source of sustenance, a provider of materials, an integral part of their daily existence. Their relationship with the bird, unlike the formalized symbolism of other cultures, was profoundly practical, yet equally rich with meaning. Imagine the warm tones of the African sun, the vastness of the savanna stretching as far as the eye can see, the feeling of groundedness and connection. Let these images soothe you. Let the slow, rhythmic beating of your heart guide you to a deep, peaceful sleep. The desert night has fallen, the stars twinkling like distant embers. Sleep now. The desert night, quiet save for the whisper of the wind across the sand, holds the echoes of countless generations. The indigenous knowledge, passed down through oral traditions and embodied in their way of life, represents a continuous thread linking ancient ostrich youths to the present day. Consider the intricate patterns woven into their clothing, the strength of their shelters, the subtle hues of their dyes, all derived in part from the ostrich itself. Imagine the careful selection of feathers, the patient process of cleaning and preparing them, the gentle touch as they are woven into tapestries that tell stories of the land, of ancestors, of the deep interconnectedness of life. These weren't mere adornments. They were expressions of a profound respect, a symbiotic relationship forged over centuries. The Romans, with their vast empire, their meticulous records, their obsession with order, left us a different, yet equally valuable, legacy concerning ostrich use. While their interaction was largely economic, driven by the demand for exotic feathers and their lavish displays of wealth and power, we can still glean insights into the practical aspects of ostrich husbandry. Picture the Roman merchant haggling over prices in a bustling marketplace, the weight of ostrich eggs in his hands, a testament to the bird's abundance, its role in sustaining both the native populations and the far-reaching Roman economy. Think of the precise accounting of shipments, the careful cataloging of goods, the methodical organization of vast trade routes stretching across continents. The Roman records, though cold and seemingly impersonal, offer a window into the sheer scale of ostrich trade, a logistical feat in its own right. Feel the weight of history in those carefully preserved documents, the faint scent of parchment and ink, the silent testimony of an era long past. The decline of the Roman Empire didn't signify the end of human interaction with ostriches. The legacy continued, subtly shifting and adapting to changing societal structures. The artistic traditions, once dominated by the grandiose motifs of Roman imperial power, gradually evolved, incorporating local styles and perspectives. Imagine a medieval tapestry depicting scenes of knights and courtly life, adorned with the familiar plumage of the ostrich, a subtle nod to the enduring exoticism of the bird. The ostrich feathers, no longer a symbol of Roman opulence, find new expressions in the vibrant cultures of the Middle Ages, woven into the fabric of new stories, new traditions, new symbolic meanings. The slow, deliberate passage of time carries the echo of these changes. Visualize a journey through centuries, across continents, witnessing the subtle transformations in the role of the ostrich. In some regions, the bird continued to provide sustenance and materials, its feathers finding their way into ceremonial attire, its eggs utilized for practical purposes. In other areas, the ostrich became a subject of artistic exploration, a symbol of power, beauty, or perhaps even something more profound, a reflection of the spirit of the land itself. The colors shifted, the patterns evolved, the stories transformed, yet the underlying thread of human-ostrich interaction persisted, a silent testament to the resilience of both species. Let the rhythm of your breath slow down, matching the pace of this unfolding narrative. Imagine the gentle sway of tall grasses in the African savanna, the warm embrace of the sun, the cool shade beneath an acacia tree. Feel the texture of ostrich feathers, light as air yet surprisingly durable. Sense the subtle scent of the desert air, the faint trace of dust and wild herbs. Let these sensory details create a tranquil landscape within your mind, a sanctuary of peace and calm. The impact of ancient ostrich use extends beyond the tangible. It touches upon our understanding of history, of cultural exchange, of the intricate relationship between humanity and the natural world. Consider the scientific advancements inspired by the study of ostrich physiology, its unique adaptations, its resilience in harsh environments. The modern study of the ostrich, informed by the accumulated knowledge of centuries, stands as a powerful testament to the enduring significance of these ancient interactions. Let the weight of history ease away, replaced by the serene quiet of the present moment. The stars continue to twinkle, distant yet comforting. The night deepens, carrying with it the stillness of the desert. The slow, rhythmic beating of your heart guides you towards a state of profound relaxation. Feel the tension melting away, muscle by muscle, leaving you with a sense of quiet contentment. Embrace the tranquility of sleep, knowing that the legacy of the ostrich, woven through the fabric of human history, continues its silent, gentle unfolding. Sleep now. The desert whispers its secrets to the sleeping earth. Rest, rest. The desert whispers its secrets to the sleeping earth. And so, we reach the culmination of our journey, a gentle descent into the quietude, following the exploration of ostriches across the tapestry of antiquity. We have traversed millennia, from the sun-drenched plains of ancient Mesopotamia, across the vibrant landscapes of Egypt, to the bustling markets of Rome and beyond. Throughout this odyssey, the majestic ostrich has remained constant, a silent witness to the rise and fall of empires, the ebb and flow of human societies. Consider, if you will, the recurring themes that have emerged from our investigation. The ostrich, a creature of both immense power and delicate beauty, has consistently occupied a significant place in the human imagination. Its swiftness, its strength, its exotic plumage. These attributes have fueled myths and legends across diverse cultures, imbuing it with symbolic significance far exceeding its practical utility. In some societies, it represented speed and grace, a messenger of the gods. In others, it symbolized resilience and endurance, a testament to the harsh realities of the desert. This duality, this blend of the powerful and the delicate, resonates deeply within the human psyche, perhaps reflecting our own inherent contradictions. The economic impact of the ostrich, too, has been a recurring thread in our narrative. From the valuable feathers that adorned royalty and adorned sacred rituals, to the meat that sustained communities, the ostrich played a vital role in the economies of ancient societies. Its contributions were not merely a matter of subsistence. They were entwined with the very fabric of social structures, influencing trade routes, shaping artistic expressions, and even impacting religious beliefs. Think of the meticulous craftsmanship involved in featherwork, the intricate designs that tell silent stories across the expanse of time. Imagine the bustling marketplace, the haggling, the bartering, the exchange of goods, all made possible in part by this remarkable bird. Yet beyond the economic and symbolic significance, perhaps the most enduring aspect of the human-ostrich relationship lies in its reflection of our evolving understanding of the natural world. Our early interactions were often driven by a utilitarian perspective, a focus on the practical benefits the ostrich provided. However, as our knowledge grew, so too did our appreciation for the creature's intrinsic value, its place within the intricate web of life. From the scientific observations of ancient naturalists to the modern study of ostrich behavior and physiology, the The journey has been one of continuous discovery, a testament to the enduring power of curiosity and the slow, steady accumulation of knowledge. The night air grows cooler, a gentle breeze rustling through the unseen leaves. Let the images of ancient landscapes settle gently in your mind. The vast expanse of the desert, the shimmer of heat rising from the sand, the silhouette of an ostrich against the setting sun. Recall the vibrant colors of its plumage, the elegant curve of its neck, the strength in its powerful legs. These images, held in the quiet recesses of memory, will contribute to a sense of calm and serenity. The study of the ostrich in antiquity is not just a historical exercise, it is a journey into the heart of human experience. It is a story of our interaction with the natural world, of our evolving relationship with the creatures that share our planet. It is a tale of discovery, of adaptation, of understanding. It is a testament to the enduring power of the natural world to inspire awe, wonder, and respect. Let these thoughts, these images, these reflections wash over you, carrying you gently towards the embrace of sleep. The darkness deepens, the stars shine brighter, and the silence of the night is broken only by the soft rhythm of your breathing. Feel the weight of your eyelids, the relaxation spreading through your limbs. Let the legacy of the ostrich, a silent witness to the passage of time, guide you into a state of profound tranquility. Sleep now. The desert sleeps, the stars watch over you, and the ancient whispers of history fade into the gentle murmur of slumber. Rest, peace, sleep. Rest, peace, sleep. And yet even in slumber, the echoes of the past persist. The image of the ostrich, a creature of such ancient lineage, continues to resonate, a silent testament to the intricate tapestry of human history woven with the threads of the natural world. As the desert sleeps, so too do the ancient sands hold secrets, and the study of our relationship with the ostrich, though concluded in this narrative, continues to hold relevance in our modern world. Consider for a moment the sheer span of time, thousands of years of human interaction with this magnificent bird. From the earliest depictions on cave walls, faded yet enduring, to the meticulous accounting in ancient scrolls, the story of the ostrich is a microcosm of our own history. It reflects our changing relationship with the environment, our evolving understanding of resource management, and our capacity for both exploitation and appreciation of the natural world. The lessons gleaned from our ancient ancestors' interactions with ostriches are not merely historical curiosities. They are potent reminders of the delicate balance between human needs and ecological sustainability. The careful management of ostrich populations, as evidenced in some ancient societies, offers a model of resource conservation that is surprisingly relevant in our time of environmental concern. The sustainable harvesting of feathers, eggs, and meat, practices documented in various ancient records, speaks to a sophisticated understanding of ecological stewardship, a lesson often lost in the rush of modern development. Imagine the texture of an ostrich egg, its surprisingly porous shell whispering stories of ancient feasts and rituals. Feel the weight of an ostrich feather, its lightness belying its strength, its softness speaking to a time when luxury and utility intertwined seamlessly. Picture the vastness of the African savanna, its sun-drenched landscape a backdrop to countless human encounters with this majestic bird. These sensory details, fragments of a forgotten past, help us to reconnect with a world where human activity was more intimately entwined with the rhythm of the natural world. Furthermore, the study of ancient human-ostrich interactions offers a unique lens through which to examine our changing understanding of the animal kingdom. The shifting perceptions of the ostrich, from a symbol of strength and power in some cultures to a representation of flightlessness and vulnerability in others, reflects the complexities of human belief systems and our evolving relationship with the creatures that share our planet. These ancient perspectives offer a fascinating contrast to our modern understanding of animal behavior and ecology. The stories of ostriches in antiquity are not simply tales of the past. They are living narratives that continue to shape our present. The ongoing research into ostrich genetics, behavior, and conservation is a direct descendant of the observations and practices of our ancient ancestors. Understanding their interactions with these birds allows us to approach modern conservation efforts with a deeper appreciation of the historical context and the long-term implications of our action. The silence of the night deepens. The desert stretches out, vast and timeless, under a canopy of stars. The image of the ostrich, a solitary figure against the immensity of the landscape, fades into the quiet of your mind. The rhythmic pulse of your breath, slow and steady, guides you towards the embrace of sleep. The ancient whispers of the past, the secrets of the ostrich, are now part of the tranquil landscape of your dreams. Let the knowledge of our shared history with the ostrich, a history spanning millennia, lull you into a state of peaceful repose. Allow the sensory memories, the feel of the feather, the weight of the egg, the vastness of the desert, to gently carry you into the quiet embrace of sleep. Let the lessons of the past guide you towards a future where harmony between humanity and nature is not a distant dream, but a realized reality. The slow, deliberate rhythm of your breathing is a testament to the calming power of history, a lullaby sung by the ages. Sleep now. The desert dreams, the stars watch over you, and the ancient whispers fade into the quiet stillness of slumber. Rest, peace, sleep.